Head over to miniaturemarket.com where they have thousands of board games at discounted prices and you can sign up for product alerts. Hello my friends, it's the Game Boy Geek here. Today we're going to Hoboken, New Jersey back in 1954 where these districts were going to be run by different people and you're going to be trying to gain control and supporters of these different districts and trying to control more than the other player. Today we're taking a look at District Noir. This is a 2-player quick 15-minute game coming out from Pandasaurus. I believe the retail date is July 19th. So let me give you an overview of how it works and I'll see you on the other side. In District Noir, you're going to be trying to have sets of different cards of numbers of 8, 7, 6, and 5. Each of these are going to be worth the amount of points on the card if you have the most at the end of the game, but you'll also be getting cards that give you straight points, positive, but also some negative. So let's go about how the game works. Now, the game is played over 4 rounds and you try to have the most points at the end. At the end of the game, most of the time you're going to do final scoring like this. You're going to look at each of the different types of districts and you're going to see whoever has the most gets that many points. Now this card here is 8. If I have the most 8s, I'll get 8 points. And there are 8 cards of 8s, 7 of 7, 6 of 6, and so on and so forth. So if I had the most 8s, I'd get 8 points. If I had the most 7s, I'd get 7, most 6s, I'd get 6, most 5s, I'd get 5s. If not, then the other player is going to get those points. These are also straight negative, these are straight positive. That's generally how you score. However, you will see that there is a city card here. There's only 3 city cards in the deck. If anyone gets all 3 city cards, the game ends immediately and that player wins, so sometimes you might not even get to the final scoring. Now the game starts with 2 cards face up, and by the way, 3 cards are randomly removed from the game, so you never have perfect knowledge. As I mentioned earlier, if you get 3 city cards, you win right away, but you don't even know if all 3 city cards are in the deck until maybe you get towards the end of the game. So the first round starts like this. One player will be the start player, essentially they'll have the coin, and so what's going to happen is each player has a hand of 5 cards in their hand. Now over the course of the round, you're either going to be playing cards or taking cards. Now, most of the time you're going to be playing cards, because again, you have 5 cards in your hand, and when you play a card, you're simply going to play it last in the row like this. The other player might, most of the time again, is going to play a card and they might do something like this. Now remember, you have a hand of 5 cards, you're not drawing cards. So each round, you're going to end up playing all 5 cards, and once during a round, you'll take the last 5 cards, starting from here and going over. So it's a little bit of a bluffing game because you know what you have in your hand, you're trying to maybe entice your opponent enough to take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all these cards right here, but they're also trying to feel you out too, and they know what they have in their hand, and they might be dropping cards like this. And so it's a little bit of a bluffing. Sometimes you want to take early, sometimes you want to wait. It all depends on what you're going for, what cards are out there, and what cards you know are in your hand that you're trying to hold on to. Like, yeah, maybe you're trying to entice them to take this, knowing that you have better cards later in your hand. So maybe I really try to entice them to take now. And maybe they do. They say, you know what, it's worth it. I'm going to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're going to get these 5 cards. They're going to get minus 4 points, plus 2. So essentially they're getting minus 2 points. They're getting an 8 and they're getting one of the city cards. So maybe that city card was enough to make them want to take this, and they'll go splay them out as I showed you in your tableau before, because they might be thinking, well, maybe they have, you know, they're 1/3 of the way to the immediate victory condition of those 3 cities. And here's the other interesting part. Now that they've taken, they can't take again for the rest of the round, and they took. So I'm playing again. I'm actually playing 2 cards in a row. 1, they took, and then me. So I'll play this one, and they'll go, well, haha, I'll negative you, and I go something like this, and then they might go something like this, and then I might say, okay, I'm going to grab them. I'm going to grab 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll grab all of these. And if you still have cards left over at the end of the round, you're still going to continue to play them because you can set yourself up for next round, because the cards that are here will start like this, and at the end of the round, you pretty much just each player gets 5 new cards, and this coin gets to the other player, and then they start. That's pretty much the whole game, but a lot of it is in the timing of when do you take cards. Knowing if you play a card you're not taking, which means there's going to probably be your card and another one before you could take again unless they take. So a lot of it's mathing out the timing of when to take, bluffing, seeing what you have in your hand, what they have. A lot of head games, and it's very simple, but it's really good. And again, at the end of the game, well, if you get all 3 cities, you win immediately, but at the end of the game, you're going to be getting points. The last thing I didn't tell you about is you also get points if you have one of each of them, or for every set you have one of each, you get 5 points. So So if you end up with 2 of each card type of the 5s through 8s, you're going to get 10 points. So you're trying to get the majorities, but you're also trying to get sets too, and obviously the positives, not the negatives, or you're going for that victory condition immediately of getting the 3 cities. All right, now before I get to my final thoughts, I want to let you know that if you like my content, there's now ways to get bonus content like first impression videos well before a review will come out, or for many games I don't even end up reviewing. You can even vote for which games get reviewed on the channel. You can also see me opening up packages and getting content earlier than everyone else. Well, if you like that, you can check it out at patreon.com/GameBoyGeek. All right, let's first talk about what I liked about the game. I love 2-player games. They're like my favorite style of games, and generally speaking. I also like very quick and easy things that have not a lot of moving parts, but has a lot of depth. Now don't get me wrong, I like a good heavy game every now and then. A 2 to 3 hour game that has lots of stuff going on, but those are more like event games, where these are the ones that I play more on a daily basis. So I was very interested in this. I saw this at GAMA, the GAMA trade show, and I was really interested in it. So let's talk deeper about what I liked about it. This definitely the way it looks. Nice clean art, linen finish cards. It just has I love the way that the box looks, the art looks, the cards look. It all looks really nice. This is a unique mix of bluffing and set collections. Very often I'm finding myself saying as games come in here, like, it's good, it's fine, but it feels like something else, and I'd rather just play that, Not often these days does something come in that feels fresh and unique and different, and this does that. So definitely a good, unique game. I like that on your turn, you're either playing a card or collecting up to 5 cards from the end. 5 cards if they're there, less if there happens to be not as many as 5. And it's very simple. However, the timing is everything in this game. Everything. It's when do you play cards versus when do you take cards. And that's a very simple decision, it seems, but it's not so simple when you're looking at the layout and which cards are already there. You're looking at which cards are in your hand. You're looking at the tableaus of what you maybe have scored in a previous round. You're looking at, if I play this, what do I want them to do? Sometimes you're trying to seed them to take a pile because you have better things in your hand, and once they take once, they're not going to be able to take again. So if you can get them to take first, then you'll do it. Or maybe the reverse. The first game I played of this, I had a ton of negative numbers in my hand. Just happened to have them. I played 1 card. They played 1 card, and I took the 4. Because there was 2 to start. I played 1, they played 1. I took the 4 like, whoa, you're taking those already? Well, yeah, because I was able to hammer out a bunch of negative cards and sort of stick them with them. And I had one other card that wasn't negative, so I played that first, because knowing they probably weren't going to take that quick. And then I just hammered up negative, so they ended up getting some negatives with what they took. It's kind of interesting like that, but your hand is going to dictate that. And so timing is really everything here. It's really the crux of the game. Now I like the game, when I first saw this, I was like, oh, this looks like it might feel a little Lost City-ish, right? Because you have these cards that you're playing out there, and you're not just gonna be able to take it. In order to take a card that's in your hand, you're going to have to offer it to your opponent in that line and hope that they don't take it, right? And you're using the middle areas, almost like temporary storage. How you do in Lost Cities, where you just got a card and you're like, I'll just leave that there, hopefully I'll get it later. But they might take it. And this has that feeling. If you like that aspect of Lost Cities, where there's some tension of putting something out there, offering it to your opponent possibly, but hoping that you're gonna get it later, this has that in spades here. But it still feels extremely different from Lost Cities. But if you like that aspect of it, you'll like this. I like mathing out which cards you might get. Because you're looking at this, you're looking at the spread, and you're going, okay, if I take now, I take these ones. If I play this card, and then they play a card, then I'll get these ones. Oof, well, I don't know what they're going to play, and this card, you're mathing it out. And on top of that, there could be a hand size difference. So it's really interesting how this works, because at one point you might have, or the other player might have 2 more or less cards than you, even though you both start with 5. For example, let's say the first player plays a card. They now have 4, you have 5. And let's say you play a card, you both have 4. They play a card. They have 3 cards left. You have 4. You take. They play again. Now you have 4 and they have 2. Now you have a lot more information in your hands. They have less information. but it really changes the way the timing and mathing things out and what they might do and what our hand size is. It's all part of the heuristics of this game that make it super interesting. I love that 3 city cards can be immediate win condition. The first game I played of this, I was destroying my opponent in points. Like, it was just destroying them. And they got 1 city card in the first round, and towards the end of the second round, there was no city cards out. We each had like 1 or 2 cards each left. And I was like, oh man, what's the chances of him having that, right? Well, the chances were he had one in his hand. I was hoping he didn't. And he got to go first next round. And so that really helped him end up winning with the 3 cities. And it's like, that's it. That's another thing to think about. Well, and because number one is you don't have any perfect knowledge of the cards. 3 cards are removed. One of those could be the city card. So I was hoping that one of the 3 city cards are removed, and we're all doing this mental exercise for nothing because he's not going to win that way. But you're also trying to set yourself up for the next round. Knowing who's going to start next round is big. Because you may have both have already taken, and now you're setting up some cards. Or you're like, I'm going to take these because I know I'm going to go first next round. I want to seed it with these 2 cards. Again, thinking a round ahead, simple mechanism, but lots to think about. It's really good. I love that you're trying to score for the majority, and you're trying to get sets. Again, 2 different sort of competing things that are at odds with each other that you're trying to do both of these things as much as you can. This game's so quick that you'll definitely play more than once. I recommend just play a 2 out of 3. That seems to be perfect for this game because it is like, it says 15 minutes. That's like the longest it will go. It's more like 8 minutes. It was once you know what you're doing. It's really quick. So yeah, this game's great. I really don't have anything negative to say about this game. I'm trying here. The only thing, if I was to try to like nitpick the littlest bit, I would have liked to have seen maybe some advanced cards and some advanced variants that you could sort of mix in and spice things up. Maybe some abilities, maybe one let you peek at your opponent's hand. Maybe, you know, just little things to like amp it up and do things a little bit differently. But make no mistake, as the game is, it's fantastic. It's clean, it's streamlined, it's exactly what I want. But if I had a choice, maybe have some little advanced variants in there that you could grow into as you play the game over and over. But that's it. The game is fantastic for all these reasons. It's staying in my gaming library. It's getting a saxophone serenade because it is so unique and quick and easy. This is District Noir, so let's hit it. Game Toppers not only transforms your existing table into a high-quality gaming solution, but they now offer full leg kits and dining cover solutions for the full table application. Paired with over 20 styles of thematic game mats in 11 different sizes from notable board game artists like Vincent Dutray, collapsible cup holders, and real cool accessories, experience what thousands of other gamers enjoy by upgrading every game you play with a Game Topper system. Save hundreds of dollars on Game Topper package deals that are in stock now for immediate shipping at GameToppersLLC.com or click the link below.